We gotta talk about why indies and AA games are dominating AAA and why they will continue to do so in 2026 and further beyond. So let's jump right into it. First off, let's talk about Hollow Knight Silksong. This game released at the low price of $20. In their reasoning, they wanted to make their game as accessible to as wide of an audience as possible. Because if your asking price is $20, depending on what part of America you live in, that's a meal from Five Guys. And $20 to a lot of people is something they can spend without thinking. So since the bar of entry is low, most people interested said, sure, I got $20. Shut up and take my money, Team Cherry. And if that wasn't enough, Team Cherry announced a free DLC for this game called Sea of Sorrow. After they only charged $20 for this game, they turned around and said,
I'm not finished.
And they did the same thing for the first Hollow Knight, where the Grim Troop DLC was free. And keep in mind, the first Hollow Knight is $15. And I think plenty of people in the community would have given them $5 if they charged for this DLC. Unlike AAA, this DLC would have been $10 easy. So you can't even call Team Cherry greedy. They are doing this out of nothing but pure passion. Because this kind of passion used to be common back in the 90s to the early 2000s, where there wasn't any ship now, fix it later mentality, because once a game was on the market and it was a buggy broken game, it stayed that way. The era where there mostly wasn't DLC half the price of the base game. The era where people treated Nintendo like gods of the gaming industry. And if you dared to criticize them, you were the villain. And that attitude towards Nintendo has remained until the Wii U era. Then it was okay to criticize Nintendo until they released the Switch 1. Then it was not okay to criticize Nintendo again. And now look at Nintendo releasing Mario Kart World at $80. And what's even funnier is this game got booed at the Game Awards.
Okay, come on, Sonic. Come on, Sonic.
Rematch.
Did someone boo on Mario Kart World? It was not that bad.
Oh, and how could I forget about how Nintendo is in a lawsuit with Pocket Pair? Instead of making better games, let's sue our competition.
What kind of cheap shot, Joe?
I'm suing, I'm on it.
Nintendo is the living embodiment of you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. While Nintendo is trigger happy with their lawsuits, we got studios like Paw Print releasing Amiibo next year. And this game looks amazing. Visually, chef's kiss. Monster design, chef's kiss. And you can play as the monsters, chef's kiss. And if that wasn't enough, they are currently accepting applications for a closed beta. Meaning if you get accepted, you can try this game out before full release. And when it releases, guess what? It's not gonna be $70 with a paid season pass on day one when the game can't go 5 minutes without having a stroke. This game is going to be free, and I know some people hear free and instantly get turned off. However, I think this is gonna be one of the different ones. The system is supposed to be centered around just cosmetics as the main way of making money. We don't know the full details because the game isn't out yet. And if it's a steaming pile of garbage where you need to open your wallet to even breathe in this game, then all we have to do is uninstall the game. No money lost. An example of a free-to-play game done right is Where Winds Meet. This is another free-to-play game that just dropped its update on December 12th, and this game does a good job at the free-to-play experience. Here's in-game footage of how it looks in the UI. The battle pass is centered around a mostly cosmetic and other rewards that you don't need for $10 a month. I didn't buy it this month because I didn't want the outfit, but even then I'm still getting rewards on this top portion as a free-to-play player. Buying the battle pass also gives you an extra med kit, but you don't need that if you take Hornet's advice. There's also a monthly pass that gives you these items. However, you can earn this stuff in-game through events and side quests. In opening treasure chests, you basically get this stuff by just playing the game. So if Animo adopts a system similar to this, I could see this working out. But how could I forget to mention another free-to-play game coming out next year that I think will be huge if done right? That's right, I'm talking about Anime Grand Theft Auto. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to say I was talking about Anada. This is kind of ironic in a way because we're getting Anime Grand Theft Auto before Grand Theft Auto 6. It's reaching a point where I'm starting to think GTA 6 is a myth. But back on Anada, this game looks like a mashup of a ton of games mechanics, yet from what I'm seeing from the footage, they somehow managed to do it in a way where it looks engaging. Look right here, this looks like web slinging from Spider-Man. The mini-map is straight out of GTA 5. The combat looks similar to Yakuza or Sleeping Dog. We got our classic GTA weapon wheel with all of these cool looking weapons, and here we have the character transition that's very similar to GTA 5. Let's just call this Grand Theft Spider Yakuza Dogs. Some people would say this is creatively bankrupt, but let's be honest, it still takes some form of skill to mash together game mechanics. And guess what? Another game that does as well is Palworld. We are getting the full release of this game next year, and they added a ton of content since its 2024 release. The most recent update did some overhauling for the building mechanics and adding painting, a new raid boss, and a collaboration with Ultra Kill. This update wasn't as big because they wanted to focus on optimizing the game and ironing out its kinks, something a decent chunk of big budget AAA seems to ignore during the game making process. Indies and AA's are putting their passion at the forefront and using that to deliver to us the best video games we've had in a long time. But on the other hand, what has our established AAA giants been doing lately? Oh, that's right, we got Call of Duty Black Ops 7, because I can't get enough of these Call of Duties. I can't wait until we get Black Ops 69. Ubisoft, how neat, another Assassin's Creed. And you know what's sad about Ubisoft? I'm old enough to have been from an era where Ubisoft wasn't called Ubislop, an era where people weren't memeing on the Ubisoft open world formula. But brace yourselves for this one. I'm from an era where people were genuinely excited to play the next Ubisoft game. Yeah, I'm getting old, you don't need to remind me. Oh, and my favorite quote from this company is, players need to get comfortable with not owning games.
How about new?
If I need to get comfortable with not owning my games, then Ubisoft needs to get comfortable with people not buying their games. But we're not done yet. Let's take a look at Highguard. Oh, this is basically Concord 2, and good lord, people are not happy.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
The characters look bland, as if the devs were trying to avoid offending anybody. Also, some of their development team includes some former Concord devs, because Concord was such a roaring success with a budget between 200 to 400 million that it had to be delisted less than 2 weeks after launch, and everybody was refunded.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
On Twitter, the head of character and creature rigging tweeted the reveals, and people were eviscerating this person. Looks like ass. Start looking for a new job from now, Josh. Be ready to work on another game very fast since it will be canceled in under a year. We got Concord 2 before GTA 6. Bro, please just go put fries in bags. So you are the sole reason why this game will be dead on arrival. Congrats. And you cannot blame these people. If people are looking at this and thinking Concord 2, I think these tweets are a pretty natural reaction. A brownie point I will give this game is the characters aren't as hideous as Concord characters. Concord characters was so bad they managed to do something no one else was able to do. They beat Rule 34. Not too many people were willing to create lewd art of these characters. However, that wasn't the final nail in the coffin. For me, the final nail was the tone-deaf response in this tweet. Unscripted vent. Exhausted by predictable drama gamer reactions over at Play Highguard. You gotta be pretty dumb to compare this to Concord and think the gameplay is anything like it. Can we go back to playing games before placing 50-50 bets on their doom and trashing the artist's vision?
How should I know? I'm retarded.
It's ironic you're calling someone dumb when you have to be pretty dumb to ignore people's reaction to your reveal. These aren't just random chuds on Twitter downvoting your video. These are normal people reacting to your game in such a way. And this is another thing AAA does. They ignore genuine outrage and they're surprised when their product flops. The sad part about all of this is they probably paid a ton of money for this reveal just to have this product be DOA. This game looks like one of those it's not for you type of games that you're usually told on Twitter. But hey, don't take my word for it. The tweeting this thread ratioing you pretty badly says it all. I am tired of the you can't criticize a game unless you play it argument. Yes, you can. You literally can. It's just like watching a movie trailer and deciding that looks lame, I'm not watching it. Gamers owe studios nothing. If your game looks good, people will try it. If it doesn't pique their interest, they won't. People are telling you how they feel about this. So you can plug your ears and not listen, but when your game flops, you will have no one else to blame but yourself. The main brownie point I can give this game is that it's free to play. So if it sucks, no money is lost. Okay, I have talked about this game long enough, so let's move on to another game.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Pokemon. This DLC was so ass, even some PokeTubers were saying I had fun, but they were still disappointed. You know you done goof when even a good chunk of your PokeTubers don't like it. And PokeTubers are the most dedicated Pokemon fans. Think about it. You have to be a serious, dedicated Pokemon fan to dedicate your entire channel to covering Pokemon, doing challenges, talking about news, talking about the latest games or whatever you have it. This for sure ain't worth $30 in my opinion. I don't think it's worth pirating. You can pirate this and you would end up feeling like you're the one that's been robbed. The only people defending this game at this point are fanboys. And I gotta say, just hang the hat up. This game is an L. Maybe Generation 10 will be decent. And you know what would be funny? What if Pokemon Generation 10 was $80 and on a game key card? That would be hilarious, but also screwed up. And you best believe I'll be making a video about that. Speaking of prices, we gotta talk about the charge full price for an unoptimized game that sucks on top of that.
I just move shit with my freaking mind!
See, when I buy an indie game and I think it sucks or it has some optimization issues, I'm not as pissed because I spent maybe $5 to $20 on it. When I buy a full AAA price game, oh, I'm pissed. My salt could probably season your steak. If your game was this broken, you shouldn't have charged me full price. I don't want a generic public apology about how you're sorry and how you promise you'll do better going forward. No, because I'm still out of my money on a game I no longer want. If I'm past the 2-hour mark on Steam, that's that. And look, I could name countless other video games and examples to the point this would be an hour-long documentary video, but ain't nobody got time for that. But if you enjoyed the video and you want more content like this, please consider subscribing. I would appreciate it so much. And if you made it this far in the video, you are the best. I appreciate you so much, and I'll catch you next time.